All right. Yup, Raging Echo is cool. Last chance to turn back. Component full drops. I mean, do we even need to read this one? I think I already know what this is. Combo item drops. It's not just Echo bosses who are dropping new loot. More familiar faces will be dropping items that normally require components from different regions to use as one ready-made item. It's not a fourth area unlock, but it's the next best thing. You can check out the infographic below to see what drops have been updated. Okay, here we go. Abyssal Sire will drop the bludgeon, the full bludgeon. Okay. Scurious drops the spine. What? I'm so confused. Oh, is it the gold ones that have been updated? The gold ones have been updated. I'm really confused. I see. Okay. So, the Tormented Demons will drop the Ember Light now. Rather than just the Tormented Synapse, because you can make the items with the range and the mage weapons without having two separate things. So that makes sense. Temperos not been updated. Calphite Queen, D2H, D-Chain. Is this? Oh, this is because it's the Echo boss. I was like, why is this one in blue? That makes sense. The Leviathan now drops the axe handle. Okay, so I assume all of the DT2 bosses will now drop all of the items, and it looks as though they'll drop the rings in their full form as well, which is great. That's unreal. TOA now drops Scythe and Twisted Bow. Very cool, very cool. Araxor will now drop the Rancor. That's interesting. That's just straight up dropping the Rancor now. Grotesque Guardians drop the... Okay. I mean, who's using those anyway? Let's be honest. Barrow's Chest are normal. TOB now dropping a Avernic Defender. That is crazy. You don't need to go Asgarnia to get a Defender anymore. You just go Mauritania. That is absolutely nuts. Twisted Bow and Tumikin Shadow from Theater of Blood as well. Hesperia is going to be dropping the new Hesperia weapon. Alchemical Hydra, is that... What is that necklace? Bone Crusher? No. Dragon Bone? Fuck. Enter the Bone Whip. That's what that is. But Hydra will now drop the Ferocious Gloves and the Dragon Hunter Lance straight up, which is crazy. Chambers drops a Kodai Wand instead of a Kodai Insignia. Very cool. Gauntlet now has the Blessing. Zulrah will drop the Trident of the Swamp instead of the Magic Fang. Very cool, very cool. Going back up the top here. King Black Dragon now drops the Echo boss thing. Wilderness, not much changed. Everything in the Wilderness you could have just made already, so that's all the same. Dagnoth Kings now drop the extra amulet and ring. Very cool. Muspa now drops the Ancient Staff, or the Ancient Scepter, which is very cool. Duke Succulus now drops all of the items, plus the Magus Ring straight up. Very cool. Smoke Devil with the worst Echo boss in the game. Cerberus drops... Cerberus now drops Eternal Boots and the Dog Sword. Okay. And, Whisperer once again. Fortis Coliseum drops Echo Boots instead of Echo Crystal. Very cool, very cool. I mean, it's not going to make much difference. I think picking Valamor is kind of fucking trolling. I think picking Valamor is kind of trolling in this, but we'll have to see. And then Vardorvis drops all of the items plus the Altar Ring. So Vardorvis is part of Valamor now. Interesting. Okay. Cool. I mean, that's very cool. That's very cool. I like that. Also put together a handy list as follows. Yep, cool. So there's the list if you can't look at a picture and figure out what's going on. Everything that's changed. Altor, Megas, yep. Very cool. Other changes include all Desert Treasure 2 bosses will drop all parts to the Soul Reaper axe in order. All raids will offer the chance to obtain a Twisted Bow, Tunic in Shadow, and Scythe of Atua. More information about this to come. Dragon pickaxes obtained via Volcanic Mine ore packs will come repaired. Very cool. You now have the chance to loot Dragon Hasta. That should say Hasta, guys. Should it not? I'm making a formal complaint. Rather than the broken Dragon Hasta from the Brimstone chest, Tormented Synapse has had its inspect option adjusted and will now allow you to instantly convert it to Emberlight, Scorching Bow, or Purging Staff. Interesting. Okay. Not that you would need any other... You wouldn't need other areas to change the Scorching Bow, like to make the Scorching Bow or the Purging Staff. But, I mean, it's nice that you have the option. No Toxic Staff for the dead? Yeah, I guess not. I guess, like, the Zulrah drops the Trident, right? So, I guess it can't drop the Toxic Staff for the dead unless Zulrah... Yeah, uncharged Toxic Trident. So, yeah, not too much you can do about a Toxic Staff for the dead. But, like, why would you want a Toxic Staff for the dead anyway? What's that useful for? This definitely does change things pretty drastically, I think. I think there's no... Now there's absolutely zero reason to go to Asgarnia. I don't think there's any possible reason to go to Asgarnia. You get God Wars, and Defenders. Defenders was such a big thing from Asgarnia, but now you can just go straight to Tob. You go TOB and you get your Defender. And then with the Blessing, the DPS, I was looking at this last night, the DPS for Tyranwen from getting the Blessing and the armor, dude, it's insane. It's way better than having Torva on melee. So if you're a Tob lover, if you're going to Tob, there's no reason to pick Asgarnia anymore. You might even it might even just be a case of like you can just pick 2 raids now. Like you can just go Cox and Tob and then just Gauntlet. Like I don't know, man. There's gonna be so many changes. Like we've had how many releases? 5. We still have another 10 releases to go. Everything is gonna change it. Everything is gonna change between now and then. But as it currently stands, there's no reason to go to Asgarnia. The Dog Sword is an absolute meme, and you can basically get everything else elsewhere. I don't know. The Fremennik area is really so good, man, with this ring and the necklace. So for me right now, I like Tob, so I'm probably going Mori, Tyranwen for the Blessing and the Crystal Armor, and Fremennik for the DKs. Which, like, there's no end game in either of these areas except for the Gauntlet. But you want to be able to do Tob as quick as possible, right? You want to be able to do Tob as good as possible. So I think at the moment, the max melee DPS is going Mori, Fremi, and Tyranwen, which is probably my picks for now. That's definitely going to change by the end. Definitely going to change.